cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
To the View from C Deck, I'm just Matt, and I have no intentions of going to the doctor after well longer than 4 hours, considering we absolutely had to delay this podcast a little bit due to some issues on a couple of our guys' end. But Haas, Saturday in Ann Arbor, we exercised the demons, and today here on the View from C Deck, that's all we're going to talk about. This gets its own podcast, no preview for Indiana. We'll do a different podcast for the preview. How did you feel Saturday watching us just stick it to those bastards up north?
Very full on erection there, like you did. You know, mine didn't last quite that long, but that was a beat down after the first quarter. I mean, you had to expect what was happening there, but yeah, just truly awesome to see everything kind of come into motion there, and just every drive that continued in that the gut wrenching drive there that tore their hearts out was just beautiful.
Oh, 20 play drive. Sorry, almost 20 minutes. 20 play drive though, just absolute perfection. It was like so. The way we did it and the way Michigan acted that whole game, it was like perfection. You couldn't have drawn it up any better. We go back to the place where it started, 2021, in the kind of similar conditions that it started. We had snow that game. Only this time we're the ones. And they leaned on us in the second half of that game. Like, it was a very competitive game, and then their running game leaned on us, cheating aside. We leaned on them in the second half of this game, ran it down their throats. You know, it was just perfect. Day let himself be himself. We won with humility at the end. We didn't stoop to their level. We just crushed them in front of their home fans. It was thorough. And like, it was weird because like if you watch our podcast, you may have thought I was worried. I wasn't that worried about the game because I thought we were the better team. And then of course the first couple drives happen where they bust off the run and get a field goal, and you're like, okay. And then we throw a pick right away. It's like, oh God. Once we held them to 3 there, I was feeling better. Even then we go down and don't score from inside the 5. That our red zone woes that we've had this year come back to bite us a little bit. And then we get down close, like have a good drive after our defense finally starts to look like our defense, and we have fourth and five at like the 30 something. It's no man's land. Our punting again was trash in this game. Not that it had been at that point, but absolute trash. So you have to go for it. And Julian Sayin drops a freaking dive to Jeremiah Smith. That's where the game, I was totally not worried at all after that, after he took the 10-6 lead on a slightly controversial play. Let's talk about that play first. Jeremiah Smith crossing over. I mean, before we talk about the whole game, that play, did that put you at ease for the game? And what did you think about it overall with the ruling on the field?
That play definitely was the weight, like that kind of, I knew at that moment that we were probably going to have our way in the passing game. I will say I was worried after the interception. We came out firing the ball, just passing. And I thought maybe this was a game of chess where they knew we were going to do that. And then they were going to kind of disguise their coverages. Wink Martindale's, he's a good defensive coordinator. I thought maybe they had an ace up their sleeve. Like, okay, you're going to try to pass. And then I was like, well, we're pass happy. We're going to have to run the ball. And then I was worried to see maybe we wouldn't be able to, that was where I was worried to, until the passing game started going there with that Jeremiah touchdown. That was a beautiful, 4th down throw there, kind of reminiscent of the Notre Dame throw, I thought. But in my opinion, it could have gone either way. How they called it on the field was probably the right call. But if they would have overturned it into a fumble, I would have completely, because my first reaction was it was a fumble. Like, he had it when he crossed, but like, I thought when you have to reestablish possession and get both feet down, and I never saw.
I don't think there's a rule for that on fumbles, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was a weird play, something that like we get those weird plays all the time, and that shit happened. Like when that happened too, I was like, oh my God, if they overturn this here, this is crazy. So could have gone either way. Weird play. In hindsight, probably didn't matter. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. I don't think it did. We put belt to ass after that. So,
yeah, I don't think it changed the outcome at all. I'll say about that particular play, I said it in our group text, or a couple of my group texts, it was the rightful outcome. Because anywhere else you're playing, below the college level where there is no replay, that's a touchdown 100 times out of 100, and nobody is questioning it whatsoever. He had control. He bobbled it very slightly, re-caught it as he's crossing the goal line. Then he kind of bobbles it again as he's getting ready to go out of bounds. But he never actually fumbled. It's not a fumble. Like, he never actually fumbled. He just kind of lost control of the ball.
That's true. Yeah. Like, it never. Yeah.
And like I said in whatever group text it was too, if he does that at the 48-yard line, nobody says a word about anything. Like, it's not. There's no controversy at all. It doesn't go in the stat book as a fumble. Like, if you fumble in a game and you recover it or it goes out of bounds, it still counts as a fumble on your record. They wouldn't have counted that as a fumble at all. They would not have looked at it. So I think it was the rightful outcome. And I think that rule in general, I hate the touchback rule. I hate it. Like, they didn't recover. The defense doesn't recover the fumble. So why do they get the ball? I don't get that. Like, if you fumble, if I was the czar of college football, I would make it a kind of a touchback, but the offense gets the ball. So you fumbled it through the end zone, you go back to the 20.
Your own 20, like 80 yards the other way, or
no. That 20, like almost like an overtime type thing.
I don't know. I kind of like the balance, like, because if the defense does come up from behind you and punch the ball out, like, you got to control the ball. Like,
but anywhere else in the field of play, it's not their ball. Anywhere else that happens, it's not their ball.
Yeah, but like the rules of football change all the time. Under 2 minutes, under 5 minutes. Like, the rules are always kind of wonky under certain time situations. So it makes sense that around the end zone.
Only for how the clock works, not how the game's officiated.
Yeah, sometimes crossing the ball on the goal line, like, you only need to get the nose of the football around. You don't need to get your feet in the end zone. But then when you throw the ball into the end zone, you do need to get, like, I don't know. Sometimes it's officiated a little
right. I mean, that's also why Jeremiah's touchdown is a touchdown too, because you can be airborne.
Already established. Yeah,
you're airborne and you're holding the ball out, and they knock it out after you cross. It's not a fumble.
Yeah,
like it's just, I don't know. I just don't like the rule. Okay, now talk about the Buckeyes though. Forget these refs. Also, how the hell did they not throw Barham out of the game when he headbutts the ref? That's by the letter of the law. It says you touch a ref, you're ejected.
Yeah.
Period.
So I saw some people said he was trying to mimic what was happening to him. But
doesn't matter.
Are you? Oh man, this guy punched me in the nuts. I got to show you what it's like.
I got to punch you in the nuts
too. Like,
No, we'll talk about Michigan's antics later. Julian Sayin in this game throws the pick early and then is basically perfect. Goes like 19 for 22 or something like that. After that, what would it be? No, 19 for 24 after that pick, with 3 touchdowns for 233 yards. Absolute perfection in snow. Coming back with his receivers that are back, but he's not quite in sync with Tate or Smith. Not quite. He got to it toward by the end of the game. What can you say about this kid? He stepped up. He finally faced some. This is the adversity that everybody wanted him to face before they gave him a Heisman vote. How can that be more adversity? You're in the game that your school has been struggling with mentally. You threw a pick the first drive against a good defense. They're a good defense, Michigan is, and he passed with flying colors after that. Totally led the team, and then he could have put up huge numbers if we didn't just lean on their ass in the second half.
Yeah, no, he did everything he needed to. Didn't put the ball in harm's way after that. Made the right moves, and the running game definitely helped him in this game. There was definitely complimentary football both ways on the offense and the defense, just giving us the ball. It was, as close to a domination as you can get, in all facets of the game, other than special teams. I guess really was a mute point in this game.
I will say, Sayin it also has a great scramble on a third down. Did what we had to do to win. Also had maybe the worst attempt at a quarterback sneak I've ever seen.
Yeah, where he basically just slides.
Yeah, he was just too weak. He tried to push, and he just kind of fell down as he was trying to push. Yeah. We can do some squats in the offseason, and I don't think it hurt him at all. Although he was successful in 2 other QB sneaks, but they weren't prepared for them properly. Yeah, I think this game against Indiana coming up will be for the Heisman between him and Mendoza. Unless they both just stink, and then you can go ahead and give it to Jeremiah Love or whoever, or Pavia. Yeah. Going to the running game, though, like you talked about, Bo Jackson, true freshman, 22 carries for 117 yards in the game. Has a couple of huge plays in our first scoring drive. like, what can you say about this kid? He's what, over 100 yards, 5 out of the last 6, something like that. Coming into
100. I mean, 50 yards receiving too. Like this was a game where he truly shined out of the backfield too, showing that he's a 3-down back. I'm not going to call him Jahmyr Gibbs, but that's kind of what style he might be going towards. Is he's a very, very optional back there where you can do a lot with him. So a true freshman doing this, stepping up, had a couple of nice blocks and pass protection too. I was kind of surprised that Peoples didn't even sniff the field.
He played 4 plays.
Rotate guys in there at the end, but no, overall, I mean, Donaldson was Donaldson, but Bo was spectacular.
Yeah, Donaldson had we haven't done this segment in a while, but the "what the hell are you doing" was that moment in the game when we did not convert on that second drive at the goal line. He had a walk-in touchdown on the second down and goal and ran straight into the ass of our player. I saw he may have broken the goal line on that play by the hair on his chin, but they didn't.
If he would have,
you can't overrule it. I mean, you just can't tell where it was, but that's what he's done all year. Is like he's too high coming in. He doesn't have the best. Like his vision's okay, but there it was terrible. Like I think Bo walks in on that one. Like I said, it's just. I just haven't liked how it's looked. It's been effective, but it hasn't looked right all year. And then when he doesn't do that, I slam the floor and I start yelling and scaring my kid and my wife, going, "I knew he couldn't do him like this." Yeah, but I thought he acquitted himself very well in the second half. He ran the ball hard. He pass pro'd well all game when they put him in. I mean, it's kind of like a tell when he's in on like third down that it's going to be a pass. But I thought he played well after that. Isaiah West goes 6 for 20. Man, the O-line, we're going to give them their props massively. Isaiah West, though, was in the game near the end. It was the drive after the 20-minute or the 20-play drive. Our O-line, that first play, totally blew their defensive line back 3 yards, like instantly. Like they were on skates, their whole line, except for one guy, of course, 77. Tager Shabola didn't quite do that. And somehow Isaiah West found that one guy. Got dumped for like
yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that was like the best blocking I've ever seen in this game, and he gets dumped by the one guy that's back there still.
Yeah, there's always a weakness. I mean, yeah, Shabola. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and the receivers, Cardinal Tate, I thought looked great. I thought Jeremiah still looked a little stiff, and they only threw it to him really at that first couple series, and then I think he was more of a decoy after that. Hopefully he's ready to go against Indiana, but they're studs. That's why they both catch touchdowns in this game. They are studs. Now to the defense, though, and this is where the studs really came out to play, especially in the second half. Scum had some success running the ball early in the game, especially with Jordan Marshall before he got hurt.
Yeah.
But it was on a lot of plays that we were out leveraged, I thought, especially to the short side of the field. They were lining up their tight end and going like twins on the left side with a tight end and a fullback, like a classic power formation to the right, or like on their play where they also held Caden Curry that set up their third field goal. They're only like their last big play of the game. But other than that, like there was basically 3 big runs they had. What did you think about the defense against the Michigan's run game and then overall?
Well, they finally got a holding call, so that was.
We declined it though. That real quick, 2nd and 5. We dumped them for a 1-yard loss. We get the holding call. We decline it, though. What do you think about that? I thought that was dumb with how bad Michigan's offense was.
I could have gone either way. He just wants to probably get the ball back at that point, and he has so much. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird call because I probably would have done things differently, but then again, I would like to do things differently than all these coaches these days, I think. But yeah, I mean. Yeah, those first couple drives, their linemen were getting to the second level with ease. I mean, they were doing the stretch runs to the outside. I mean, the linebackers, it wasn't them not filling the holes. They were just getting blocked. So I thought we did a better job of the D ends and D tackles holding the linemen and making sure they couldn't get to the next level, allowing Sonny and Reese to come up into the run game and stop them. Yeah, and then I don't know if it was because we played it so well, but yeah, they kind of went away from the outside runs, and it seemed like they were trying to just go up the middle in the second half to no avail. I mean, Cade McDonald was just another beast in that game. But, I mean, Downs was a freaking missile he was coming off the edge with bad intentions the whole game too. So yeah, just nasty. Igbinosin was a couple penalties on him again. So yeah.
I think he only had one. One was on Jermaine Matthews as well.
Mhm.
But Igbinosin does have the pick. And then, he did have 2 penalties because he took his helmet off after the pick too. That's right. So the Cleveland Browns style there. Did that give you flashbacks to the Cleveland Browns there? Losing the game because of that?
The flashback to the Cleveland Browns was the fumble over the goal line. That's how we lost against the Kansas City Chiefs, basically. In the divisional with Baker was because I think Higgins might have been Higgins going across the goal line and fumbled it. And it was helmet to helmet. It was a nasty tackle. It should have been a flag on illegal contact. But yeah, I regress.
You're right, Rashad Higgins. I'm not even a Browns fan, but I do remember that play. It was very controversial at the time. And as a Browns hater, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the outcome. But I mean, they played well enough. Bryce Underwood did not impress me at all on Michigan. Basically, their offense was, for a lot of the game, was one read, you tuck it, 6 carries for 1 yard. He's not that good of a runner. I think of him as like, right now, he's a potential rich man's Craig Krenzel, but right now, like, he's probably a poor man's Craig Krenzel, which is not what you need, especially when you don't have any talent at wide receiver like them. I guess McCauley is okay. We shut out Marsh, their leading receiver, though, by the way. Shut him out.
Yeah, I don't even think if they had their running backs, I mean, it probably would have made a difference. But not that big of a difference. Not when the quarterback can't do anything there. I mean, 8 of 18. Oh my God. The pick there at the end, mute point. But yeah, Sherrone Moore's going to have his work cut out for him. I think he's going to be judged heavily off of the progression in the offense next year. More than likely he would be fired if their offense is this bad next year, because then they have 1 year left of Underwood and they would need to capitalize on that. But yeah, it's they need playmakers on the outside. They need him to develop into more of a pocket passer and stay in the pocket more.
Yeah, Michigan State's their Marsh just went in the portal. I would be shocked if Michigan wasn't. Like, they need to go hard after some wide receivers. But in this offense, like, if you're a good wide receiver, why are you going there?
He went into the portal before or after Fitzgerald was hired?
Today. So he must have known at this point.
So
did their running back.
Yeah.
Running back. I mean, Fitzgerald's got a lot of things, but it's not like he's had potent offenses that he's coached. So maybe if you're an offensive player, I get why you might want to leave. Special teams, Joe McGuire, terrible punting. Even though they were easy kicks and he made them all, fielding gave me heart flutters. Like, he almost missed 2 extra points and a field goal, all from within, like, inside of 25 yards.
Yeah, he loved that left upright. I mean, Jesus Christ! I thought both of them. I thought those 2 of those were. I thought he missed them. I was like, oh my God! And no, maybe one of them was going to the right and it came back. But yeah, no faith.
All right, enough of the breakdowns of what happened. Now let's talk about what this means for the program, for Ryan Day, but also what it means for those little shit stains from up north. Because I said it before in our preview that, like, I don't respect them as a program anymore since the cheating happened and the reaction to it, and then the way they've acted since then. I thought this game was just a perfect reflection of that. They're trying to goad our players the entire game, which they've done for years, getting in our faces. Bo Jackson has back-to-back plays where he goes for like 20 yards on a catch and then like 36 yards on a run. And the guy that tackles him is getting in his face, acting like he did something both times. I'm like, dude, just went for 56 yards on you in 2 plays, and you're talking shit? What the hell what's wrong with you? Yeah. They're headbutting refs out there. Then at the end of the game, like, they're flopping on trying to draw stuff. They're flopping out there. They knew they couldn't match up with us. They're acting. I mean, but they've done this since Harbaugh got there, since Hogan was there.
No, when Bo ripped off those huge plays, that guy, the last one, he finally stopped tripping and Bo kind of gave it back to him. At that point, I kind of saw the flip switch and I was like, okay, we're giving it back to them. We're imposing our will now. They're breaking down. Like, we are now talking shit. We're walking around with swagger. I thought that was a crucial turning point there, was Bo taking over on that drive. Yeah, it's just I saw last year when they knocked Will Howard out for those couple plays. I mean, their whole sideline was erupting. I mean, it was a nice hit, but like the guy was on the ground and they're all still celebrating, but the guy down on the ground, it's just kind of the dirty, unsportsmanlike mentality, headbutting a ref. It's what they are. I mean, Sharon Moore can act all disciplined and humble after the game and call us the best team in the country, but I'm not buying that shit when your players are out there doing stupid shit on the field time and time again.
Time for years. Like I said, it's been since this Hoke was there. They're starting fights with us in tunnels. They're bumping into St. Dane Sands. I mean, Sandsbacker was there before Hoke, so this goes back to Rich Rod. Basically, since Lloyd Carr left, they've acted like trash on the field. Not just against us, against Sparty too many times.
No, Spartans are worse. Those fights in the tunnels they were talking about arresting people.
Right. And like wiping their feet off, Devin Bush doing that on their midfield, on their logo. And then they're out there at the end of the game after we whoop them, protecting their logo. Why would you do that, guys? Why would you do that? You know, is it disrespectful? Is it an asshole move for us to come do that? And you're trying to stop us from doing that? Like such trash, such classic bully ass behavior. They're a trash team and a trash fan base and a trash AD. That's what they are now to me. I don't care about them. I will not. Like, I barely watched them this year. The only time I watched them with any extended thing when they looked like they were going to lose to Northwestern. that's like the only extended action of them that I watched this year. I watched in a little bit Oklahoma because they were losing. So the Schadenfreude drew me in.
They weren't fun to watch.
And I will treat them like every other team in the Big Ten, except the week of. Yeah, I'll hate them just like we should. But they are just so beneath us now, as from about every level, except for the revenue sharing thing. That part they got right, but other than that, they are totally wrong. Like the way they've acted since they cheated. They cheated. This is all their success. The only success they've had, not just against us, but at all of college football in the last 25 years, was built off of cheating, and they just celebrate it, like straight up celebrate it, trash talk you, boast about what happened while they were cheating. It just drives me nuts. And it was great to just put them in their place. And then they're sitting there looking like fucking dumbasses. That's what they looked like. I should have started off with this. As your Browns D tackle said about after his post-game interview about the fighting that was going on with Juwan Jennings. First of all, they some hoes. I want that known.
Yeah, no, I mean, they got shit stomped by the 3 teams they played this year with a pulse. I mean, you look at their fan boards, you look at all their fans, they are worried. They know the storm that is coming their way, and they asked for this.
That's their MO without the cheating for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Beat on teams that are worse than them and get beat on by teams that are better than them. That's it. Like they haven't lost a lot of, I mean, besides the year they lost to Toledo, they haven't lost a whole lot of games to bad teams, but they just haven't been able to compete with the top teams because they're still stuck in this old offense.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting these next couple of years with this expansion and the draws they get. If adding USC, Oregon, 2 good programs, if the resurgence of Michigan State is a thing, if Penn State can rebound with BYU's coach, Michigan doesn't have an easy path to being the second best team in the conference anymore behind us. It's not, hey, we got to just beat Penn State this year and we're going to get the runner up behind Ohio State. It's you got 4 or 5 teams now that you're going to have to compete with. I like our odds most years to be in the top 2. I'm not liking their odds to be in the top 4 for most years going forward.
They will be significantly worse than Oregon I think next couple years. Next year should be us in Oregon. The year after that should be Oregon. Should be Oregon. The way they've recruited lately, look out. They're about to be nasty, especially on defense. But yeah, they're third at best behind those 2 for sure. Now they're bringing in number 1 running back in the country and one of the top 2 DNs in the country next year. But they're true. I mean, the running back can make an impact. But the DN, I don't know. It's true freshmen. Most of them aren't exactly, unless you're a fucking freak. You're not just coming in and dominating. And I think he needs to put on some LBs. Yeah, they're. But other than that, they're far behind. Unless Larry Ellison does just bust open the checkbook and they just start buying everybody, which they could do.
Yeah, they could do. I mean, that, like I said, everything is relying upon Underwood's development this offseason. like 150%. Like they're going to go as far as he goes next year with that offense because they got to score points. I don't care how good your defense is. Like I thought with this game going in, like our offense had to stay on the field to give our defense a break. Their defense can't hold up a whole game being on the field. You got to sustain drives, and he's that bad where he can't sustain a drive more than 5 or 6 plays. That's not going to win you any football games.
Yeah. Basically, it's if they can't bully you up front for the last 25 years, they haven't been able to beat you. And that gets hard. I mean, without cheating. Without the cheating.
I mean, look, hell, in the title game. I mean, McCarthy had 9 passes know, in the title game against one. Like, that's how they won. Like, they only win if they have everything set up for them with cheating and with running the ball, and that's it.
Right. If they can bully you, yeah, they'll beat you. All right, but that'll do it for this edition of the game. 27-9. Buckeyes win. Buckeyes cover. Which I don't think any of us actually had that of us covering. I had us winning by 9, just under the cover. But I
had their points right. I said 10-9.
I had 18-9.
Yeah.
We had their points nailed. Just not ours. Yeah. Our offense was better than I thought it'd be, and it could have been even better than that. Like it could easily have been better than that. But it was just wonderful, glorious, and congrats for Ryan Day. We have to get to this, I guess, last, but congrats to him getting over the hump. You know, we were on that. You and I both were on that. We probably need to move on after the game. If we said we give him a shot in the playoff, and he did it. But we were kind of on the move. Like this game was in his head. You know, it wasn't his fault necessarily because the cheating is what led to it getting into his head. Like the cheating caused all those wins. All those wins. You can't. Last year, yeah, they weren't cheating then, but they were in our head because of it. He gets over the hump though. And this is why I was confident going into the game. He seems just so comfortable in himself as a coach now that like it's perfect. Like it's like, and maybe we needed that loss last year. Do you think we needed that loss? I think we did. Need that loss last year for him to like he's reached his apex as a coach. He's reached where he needs to be, where he can feel comfortable being himself. I think like the tough guy stuff isn't him. This is not who he is. So when he's like yelling at Lou Holtz the year before, it just comes off disingenuous. That's not who he is. Now he's comfortable who he is. Now he can lead this team to like where he's leading them right now. A national championship, now a win, undefeated, number 1.
There's nothing wrong with being the even-keeled guy in the room, being calm, having great coaches around you. I hated on Larry Johnson for the last couple of years. What the D-line has done the last couple of years with, I mean, I wouldn't say exceptional recruiting. We've had Houston was a high end, Sawyer, JTT finally in their senior years broke out, but like he's developed these guys into, I think, good pro style D linemen where they kind of just stop the run, be physical up front, and let the back end work. Like everything has come into a nice gel, and I think it's mainly Ryan Day keeping calm. And
they may not be 5 stars, but our entire starting line when Malone's starting, we're all top 100 players. Overall top 100 players. So they're not bums.
They're not bums. I'm just saying I do respect what he has done. I mean, he did. Everybody says he doesn't have the Bosa's, doesn't have the Chase Youngs, but he's got dudes up there still, and what they're doing, they're playing with an edge, and I really like everybody. I mean, Heartline, everybody, all the coaches, and bringing in Matt Patricia. When you can bring in this many coaches, the coordinators year after year, it's the head coach that keeps everybody, gelled and running smoothly, and that's what I mean. That's biggest props is seeing that changing both your coordinators for you to basically come in and possibly run it back. That's crazy.
Yeah, Matt Patricia, we are not worthy. Like we need to devote a whole podcast to what he's done with this defense because you're seeing an actual genius with actual super high caliber players. What it can do. Nobody scored over 16 points against us this year in the regular season. I mean, one team ran for over 100 yards. Michigan got exactly there. They had 108 yards in the middle of the second quarter. They finished with 100 yards, -8 with like 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Unbelievable job by him. Like I said, it's like he gets out leveraged. Penn State did it too. Sometimes he lets his team get out leveraged for some reason. When the team, I don't think he's figured out that these college coaches, because of the width of the field, love to run short side of the field. Like when they're on
never understood that.
And I don't think he's like. Seems like he's taken time to like get used to that because Penn State did it to us too, where they would go like jumbo to the short side of the field and run it there. And I think he was just like, they're not going to do that. And yeah, they will. They love doing that.
I mean, a lot of times early success too is dictated by the scripted first play. Every team's got the scripted first drive, damn near impossible to stop. Like you have a week of preparation to work on your first drive. In the NFL, it happens too. It's making the adjustments, selling everybody in, and he's done that time and time again.
Yeah. Oh, I full faith in him. Full faith that against Indiana in the Big Ten championship, he'll have the boys ready. But that'll do it for this week. Bucks finally do it. F you, Michigan. We're done with you. Don't have to worry about you for another 365 days. And this is the view from C-Deck, though. That's the Haas. I'm just Matt. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how shitty Michigan is. And we will see you guys next time.
Hey, guys. Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.